What is going on, guys? MJPD back again, once again, with another tier list, and today we are going to be ranking the final evolutions of Kanto, based on their hardcore Nuzlocke viability. This is across all games, so I did a little bit of rushed research in terms of these Pokemon, and I came down to 5 key factors. We've got encounter ability, moveset ability, offense and defense, and we've come up with a sort of rating system. As you can see, we have MVPs, mainstays, fillers, backups, and sacks. But yeah, let's get into it. So Venusaur has, the starters all have very low encounter ability, but they do have 100% encounter rate in the games you can get them in. Venusaur has good stab with healing and status, and obviously the starters' abilities are they can be beneficial but quite risky at the same time. Venusaur actually has really good stats across the board, and it has a better ratio in terms of types. The Venusaur is going to go in filler because there's definitely a lot better Pokemon out there in the Kanto region, but it is going to sit towards the top end of filler. So moving on, we have Charizard, obviously. Again, same as Venusaur, however, it has a more diverse moveset and a bit better offense but worse defense, but it does have an immunity, and immunities are very key in hardcore Nuzlockes. Blastoise is very similar to Venusaur, but instead of being more offensive, it's jam-packed into defense instead, so it's a good tank. Has a bit more of a diverse moveset. I'm basing the movesets based on the most recent stats, but I think Venusaur, with its ability to leech seed and poison powder and whatever, I think I'm going to put Venusaur ahead of Blastoise. Then we have Butterfree, who is it's quite available in most games. Has an immunity like Charizard, which is always very nice. Very diverse, loads of status, healing readily available as well. All you have to do is look at my Fire Red, which is why I'm doing this. The ability, really good. Stats are a little on the low side, but that's okay. And it does have more weaknesses than resists and immunities. But yeah, it's going to go above Venusaur just simply because of the immunity and the fact that it can heal and status quite easily without risking a miss. Next up is Victreeble, similar availability in terms of in relation to Butterfree. Moveset again very similar but a bit more physical for Victreeble, which is shown in their stats. Victreeble, however, does have more resistances than weaknesses, which is good, but its defenses do let it down ever so slightly, so it is going to go into backups. Pidgeot is again similar availability to Butterfree and Victreeble as we're moving on these early route Pokemon. However, moveset isn't very good, but it does have access to Roost and U-Turn, which are very, very useful. The abilities are okay, they're not amazing. This is all my opinion anyway, but it does have 2 immunities, so Pidgeot is going to go bottom of filler, I think. Yeah, we're going to put Pidgeot at the bottom of filler just for now. Next up is Eraticate. Eraticate is quite a good one actually. Again, very high availability. likewise, the Pidgeot has access to U-turn, that has a very, very diverse move pool if you can get TMs on it and things like that. Gets Hustle, which can be good, but you are giving up the chance to miss, and obviously it does have an immunity, the Kanto variety anyway, and only one weakness, being fighting, which is good because its defenses aren't so great and its stats in general aren't as good. So Eraticate is going to go in fillers, but only in there. Fearow is just a better Pidgeot, pretty much. Yeah, it's just better stat-wise. So Fearow for me is going to go maybe above Blastoise. Now, Blastoise has good defense, actually. We'll leave Blastoise there. Defense is very, very key in hardcore Nuzlockes. As you can see in my Fire Red installment of the Hardcore Generation Lock. Arbok has a decent availability, got a good moveset to be fair, and it can get Intimidate, which really pushes up Arbok's viability in hardcore Nuzlocke. Stat-wise, it's not so great, but yeah, just almost purely because of Intimidate, it goes above Pidgeot. Raichu isn't great, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's in almost every game that you can get, but the moveset isn't fantastic. Stats are good on the offensive side, but it doesn't really have anything to benefit from it. So Raichu is actually going to go the lowest out of anyone so far. Sandslash follows, and again is almost in every game in some form. Moveset has got better over time, but I would definitely say it's better since Gen 4. Attack stat is good, and it has an immunity which pushes it probably just below Pidgeot, I'd say. Now, a lot of people will probably be thinking Nidoqueen will be quite high up, but in my opinion, based on this rush research I've been doing, Nidoqueen is actually going to sit at the top of backups. It's not amazing, it's not too widely available, and actually encountering it can be a bit tricky sometimes. Stat-wise, it is good, obviously, but and it is basically just a defensive Nidoking, but only ever so slightly. But then coming on to Nidoking, Nidoking is going to sit above Pidgeot and Sandslash, not above Arbok, because it pretty much only has a diverse moveset. It doesn't have any access to healing, status switching, which are all really, really important for hardcore. Yes, if you can get it out early, it has a good speed stat, then it can probably go a bit higher. So I think I'll actually push Nidoking up to... Oh, yeah, we'll put Nidoking just behind the starters, actually. No, we'll put it above Arbok. But we'll leave it there. Clefable, this could be an interesting one, but Clefable's actually going to go behind Charizard. No matter which game you're playing, it always has an immunity. When it's normal type, obviously, it's Ghost and Fairy Dragon. Dragon immunity is probably better off, because you don't face many Ghost moves in a lot of games, and Dragon types come in and try to sweep you towards the end of the game. So, like, towards the end of the game, Clefable is pretty good, has a wide variety of moves. So yeah, Clefable's going to go there. Ninetales is going to sit just behind Arbok. It has Flash Fire, which in essence gives it an immunity, which is really, really good. Move pool okay. And yeah, I'm trying to speed this up a little bit because we've got a lot of Pokemon to get through. Wigglytuff is just a worse Clefable really, but it is still quite good. It has the bonus of having both Ghost and Dragon immunities though, which has definitely helped it out here. So I'd probably, that is only later gens, so I'm going to put it behind Nidoking for now. Well, no, it is going to go behind Nidoking because this is the final one. Obviously within Kanto, so we have Golbat instead of Crobat. Golbat, even though it's not fully evolved, has pretty decent stats. Access to U-turn and Roost, I'm pretty sure. So Golbat, even though it's not evolved, if you get an Eviolite as well in later games, then that can be pretty good. Ground immunity, obviously. So Golbat is actually going to sit just up here ahead of Wigglytuff. Vileplume is, I actually really like it in a Nuzlocke sense, but in terms of what my research has said, it's not as good overall. Obviously, it gets a lot of healing and status moves, and it's fairly available. Stat-wise, it's not as great. With a slow speed stat like it does, ideally I'd be taking some of the attack stat and putting it into the defense. But it's still a really good mon. But it's just going to sit behind Ninetales. Parasect. Now you might be thinking Spore, and yes, it does have Spore, but it is one of the only Pokemon to not have a better weakness to resistance ratio. You're not guaranteed to get one in any game, really. It does have status and utility, obviously. I think it does get Swarm. I think it gets Swarm. But at 30 speed, it really needs better defense. Yeah. So, unfortunately, Parasect is going to be the first one in the sack category. Yeah, it's just not going to be too useful. Venomoth is only really available in Kanto and Johto, which I was surprised about. It's really good though. Super beneficial abilities. Gets access to healing, U-turn, and status moves. Defensively, it's not so great, but 90 speed and 90 special attack do help it out a little bit. So Venomoth for me is going to sit just ahead of no, just behind Blastoise, because Blastoise has that better defense. Dugtrio is also going into stack. It doesn't really get many good moves, and it doesn't have access to switch or utility from what I could see. Has massive attack and speed and electric resistance, immunity, sorry, but that's about it. So it'll go just ahead of Parasect, I reckon. Persian is going to go into backups. However, I think it goes to the front because it's pretty. If you do get one, it's got U-turn and a very diverse moveset, which is obviously very nice. You can get Technician, I think, as well, so that's pretty good. Golduck is also going to go into sack. It's almost in every game, which I was surprised to see. Obviously, none of these Pokemon are going to be in all of the games because of Black and White. But it's in every other game bar Black and White, which I was really interested about. But yeah, in terms of the moveset, it's just not there. So I think Golduck is actually going to go to the bottom for me anyway. Primeape is also going to join Sax, even though it did a reasonable job in our Fire Red. Yeah, it's not widely available either. Gets access to U-turn, which is nice, but obviously in Fire Red we couldn't get that. But apart from that, it is pretty much just fighting type moves, apart from the elemental punches. Yeah, again, it's like Dug Trio, big attack, big speed, but not much in terms of defense. Arcanine is gonna go into fillers. Has a very diverse moveset. Gets Intimidate or Flash Fire, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, offensively really good. Defensively lacks a little bit, but with a 2-to-1 resistance ratio, that's not a problem at all. So I think it actually goes ahead of Blastoise there. Poliwrath is going to be... Poliwrath's gonna sit just behind Vileplume. Gets access to healing, but apart from that, it's pretty much just a physical Vileplume with slightly less weaknesses, I believe. Let me just check that. Actually, it's got a lot of resistances, so I'm going to put it behind Ninetales. Alakazam is also going to join in with Arcanine. Doesn't really get too many diverse moves, but gets access to Recover and Screens, obviously, which is really nice. Obviously, defensively, it isn't very good, but it is pretty fast, which is really nice. So, Machamp, however, is going into backups. Probably ahead of Raichu though. Actually, it's going behind Raichu because Raichu has status, so it's a bit more useful. Yeah, there's not too much to say about that. It's slow, doesn't quite have enough defense for me. Obviously, it has a massive sky high attack, but yeah, not for me. Victreeble is going to the bottom of Sax. Obviously gets access to healing, but it's pretty physical, is it not? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, it's physical, not much defense, so Victreeble's going to the bottom. Tentacle is gonna chill up here, I think. Yeah, I recently found out Tentacle is really good. Again, doesn't get too many diverse moves, but has access to healing, which is really nice. And defensively, it can be quite good with 8 resistances, I believe, as well. Yeah, so that's really good. I think that's the right one I'm looking at. I could be wrong though, because they're all bunched together. Golem is actually going to join the mainstays. Obviously, I couldn't get Golem in my Fire Red, but Graveler was put in a shift as well. It's just really nice to have Rock and Ground because it resists all of the normal ones. Has access to healing, I believe, in later generations. I could be wrong there, but I believe it does in Drain Punch. Rapidash is joining backups, probably just behind Nidoqueen. Obviously, fire types are really good defensively because they don't have many weaknesses. Has switch out ability because it can get U-turn. But yeah, again, not too much defense. Slowbro is going to go to... It's going to get behind because it doesn't have an immunity. If it had an immunity, it'd probably be at the front. I don't think I need to say much about Slowbro. You can get really good moves. Own tempo as well, which is really nice. Yeah, because you don't want to RNG anything, and obviously defenses are really nice, and special attack as well is good. Magneton is like a Golem, but probably slightly worse because it doesn't really get the move set which you'd like. Obviously, you can get Volt Switch in later gens, which is actually that's probably more beneficial. So yeah, I'm going to put Magneton ahead. Farfetch'd is going to the bottom of backups. It can get U-turn and things like that, which is nice, and it has quite a wide move set, which is why it's not awful. And like Fear and Pidgeot, it has 2 immunities in Ghost and Ground as well. Dodrio is just a better version of that again. I think. Ooh, don't think it's quite as good as Pidgeot, to be fair. It doesn't get access to U-turn, which is a bit annoying, but it does get Roost still, which is good, and obviously Ghost and Ground immunities. Dugong is going to the very bottom. Awful Pokemon. Moveset is really bad. Yeah, I can't justify Dugong at all. For a water type, it's just awful. Muck. Muck is gonna go just behind Vileplume because I don't think it can heal. But it has really nice defense and also attack as well, which is good. Cloyster. Oh, hang on. What are we doing? There we go. Cloyster is joining. Is going just in here. Yeah, Cloyster's going just here. Has massive defense. So if you send that thing in, then it's game over. Gengar is the first MVP. Very diverse moveset, access to healing and status. When it had Levitate as well, that was really, really good. And yeah, immunities to normal fighting. And when it had Levitate, Ground as well. So yeah, Gengar really good. Onyx, not so good. But it's like Golem, has lots of resistances, which is just really, really good. Hypno is going into the top of sacks. Psychic types obviously are really, really good. Sorry for the background noise, but that's just how it is sometimes. Kingler, I'm trying to rush through now. Kingler is not very available, has a diverse moveset, but that's, and big, it's very, very physical, which helps out a lot, I would say. But Electrode is not that good, but it's better than Dugong, so we're going to put it there. Electrode is pretty much set up to be a Sackmon anyway with Self-Destruct and Explode. Executor, for me, is going to go in there. It's not great defensively. Has good special attack and attack, to be fair. Has healing. I'll put it ahead of Onyx. I think that's fair. Where are we at? Marowak is actually pretty decent. I wouldn't say that decent. We'll go just behind Muck, I think. Has an immunity there. So probably there. Hitmonlee isn't actually very good. Better than Primate though. Hitmonchan is slightly better. But again, it's not really, has access to Drain Punch, which is what makes it a bit better than Hitmonlee. But yeah, they're not widely available in most games. I'd say Hitmonchan is probably about, probably here. Then we have Lickytong, which is alright, has a very diverse moveset, but that's about it. Has a ghost immunity, which always helps. But yeah, he's just gonna sit in backups for now. Wheezing is gonna go into mainstays. Has Levitate, which is really nice. Gives it an immunity to ground, which is one of its weaknesses. So that's, yeah, really good. Moveset is okay as well. You get status and utility moves. You don't get switch outs though, so I'm going to put it just behind Magneton. Rhydon is going up here. It's not as good as the three in front, but it does get a very diverse moveset. The ability is quite good. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but obviously it has the electric immunity as well as high physical stats. Chansey is joining Gengar in MVPs. Even though it's not a Blissey, its massive special defense and immunity and move pool is just really good. Has a decent ability, I think, as well. Tangela is going to sit just behind Onyx. Has access to healing status, obviously. And has good special attack and defense, but that's about it. Kanga is joining the guys up here. Has a very diverse moveset, access to Dream Punch as well, and an immunity, which is really nice. Oh, I'm going to put it just ahead of Wheezing. Seadra and Seeking are both going to sit just behind there. Yeah, they're pretty much the same Pokemon. Seeking, however, can switch out in the later games, so that's actually going to be a tiny bit better. Oh, yeah, it's got physical attack, which is decent. Starmie is joining the MVP squad. Moveset is absolutely amazing. Stats aren't too bad either. A lot of resistances and widely available in a lot of games. Mr. Mime is going to join the boys up here. Oh, hang on. Here we go. The boys up here. Again, Psychic type movesets are just unreal. Got the Fairy type as well now, which means it's immune to Dragon. So it's just insane, really. Scyther is actually going into mainstays. I'd probably have it towards the back end though. It does get a switch out and utility moves. But yeah, the ground immunity. Put it just ahead of Golem. Jinx is decent. It's not amazing. I think Jinx probably goes behind. Yeah, probably here. The move, yeah, again, Psychic type moveset is really good, but just has too many weaknesses and a frail defense, realistically put together. Electabuzz is solid. Gets Volt Switch, which is nice. So we're probably looking about here. Yeah, Magmar is actually worse, so it's going to go down here. It's a bit like Raichu, but Raichu is a fully evolved one, so it does have. Actually, it's better than. I'd say it's probably better than Tangela. just up there. Pinsir is going to go to the bottom here as well, with just below Electabuzz. Tauros is going to come up here with these guys. Just has, gets Intimidator anchor point, so Gyarados is going to the very front. I don't think I need to say too much really. Immunity, defense, offense, intimidate, you know the drill. Lapras is also very good. I'd be tempted to say over here, but I think it's defense lets it down a little bit in terms of the ratio. Gets Persian as well, so that's really good. Ditto is right at the bottom as a Ditto. Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon are all gonna jump in, probably just behind here. The movesets aren't fantastic though, so they're all gonna go in like that. Porygon is gonna sit just behind here. Omastar is gonna go up to here, gets access to some good moves. Kabutops has Switch Out and Flip Turn, and Baton Pass, I believe, which is really nice. So it's gonna sit just up there. Aerodactyl isn't actually as good as people think. So Aerodactyl is gonna sit just in front of Wigglytuff. Snorlax is gonna go into MVPs. He's the second best one for sure. Healing status, Ghost Immunity, very diverse moveset. And we have Articuno. It's basically just the same. Articuno is going to jump up there. Zapdos is going to go just in front. And then Moltres is actually the layer down. And probably not even, probably somewhere there, Moltres. Dragonite, being the last available Pokemon in the game, is actually going to take the crown off of Gyarados. And then Mewtwo is going to sit just there, and Mew is going to sit at the bottom of mainstays. Mewtwo and Mew aren't available in any game before post game, so that's why they are there, unless you're doing a randomizer. But yeah, those are the 6 MVPs for Kanto. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But yeah, until next time, guys, peace.